Okay, just finished watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and overall I really enjoyed the actual movie. Um, I was a big fan of the first one, thought it was really funny. It was fresh at the time, so I didn't know what to expect. The second one, I still liked it, but I thought it was trying too overly to be funny. But what I would say about the second one, Volume 2, is that it had a lot more heart and the sense of what family really is, in a sense that it's not always by blood. So that part of Volume 2 I actually liked. And Volume 3, obviously, this being James Gunn's last movie in the franchise, obviously because now he's taken over the DCU. I've been also hearing big things about it in people's reviews. Didn't watch any spoilers, so I wanted to come into this fresh. I saw this on Disney Plus, and as I said before, I really enjoyed it. What I did like about the movie is that they kind of toned down the actual humour. I thought it was still funny in places, but it was a lot more serious, but still had the right sense of humour, not over the top. And the basic premises of the movie is that Rocket basically gets injured, and the Guardians of the Galaxy's teammates have to fight to save his life. And then it's basically what we get is that we get flashbacks into the origin of Rocket, and where he started from. And it's, in a lot of ways, you kind of understand why the character is the way he is, and it's kind of, and in a lot of places it's really kind of heartbreaking when you actually see the flashbacks and into his past. And we don't get it all at once. We get it in bits and pieces, and then by towards the end of the movie, we get we basically understand the whole building blocks of his origin story and why he's the way he is. And again, as I said before, it was really kind of heartbreaking, as to what happened and what he went through, and you kind of really felt it, especially when some of it is really relevant to what's going on now, especially with animal cruelty, which people don't take seriously, because obviously with human beings being able to talk and being able to express how they feel if we're being hurt or tortured, whereas animals express their emotions in different ways. And then us human beings, we have this ignorant attitude just because animals can't talk. It must mean that they don't feel anguish, or they don't feel pain, and they feel, and that they don't feel love and friendship. And I felt like this film kind of really emphasized that, especially what's going on in the real world, and especially if you've got that are part of your family. Like in my family, and we've got we've had a cat for the past 10 years, and for me, I don't think of him as a cat or as a pet. To me, he's one. My cat is one. He's part of the family, and then I love him like he really is part of, like he is my real family. I've always from a completely different species, and the villain in this, right, I thought was really good. It didn't come across too comical or or cringy or corny, and some of the stuff that he was doing was actually quite nasty as well. And I wasn't really expecting it to go this dark, especially about maybe a third or halfway through the actual movie, and then it gets even darker, because obviously, as I've mentioned, that there's stuff to do with animal cruelty, and it gets really kind of really, for me, kind of brought a little bit of tear to my eye in terms of what happened. Again, I don't want to spoil as to what happened, but obviously, if you're an animal lover, then you would, and you're against animals being tortured, and especially what we've been hearing about in the real world, what animals are being treated. I mean, you'll really feel it. So I really felt it there, and then it gets even darker than that, believe it or not, which I is a and a particular thing that kind of happens in terms of what the villain actually does. And I wasn't kind of really expecting any of that. The action set pieces in the film were actually really great. Some of the action set pieces where you saw the things from a different angles and different perspectives, and it was actually quite refreshing and new. in the way that how they dealt with the action scenes, where you've seen it from a different angle, and I don't think I've ever seen it done like that before. So hats off to director James Gunn, who not only directed the movie but also wrote the movie as well. So that was really great. The special effects in this movie was absolutely flawless. There are bits and pieces here and there, but not too much kind of to take you out of the movie. But the special effects were really great. The actual soundtracks that were used throughout the entire movie, and even the end sequence, were actually again really great. James Gunn did a fantastic job of picking the right songs for the right moment and right occasion in the actual movie. And it's something that I think he's done in these, what I like to call like a mixtape that he's done in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, 2 and 3, where the soundtrack's actually been really good, and it's a really good choice of the songs that he's actually used in the actual all three movies. And what I did, and then the ending I thought was really great as well, in terms of how it all wrapped up and the way they've wrapped it all up. And there's even a moment where you think it's not all gonna go according to plan, but again, the way it's dealt with, it didn't feel too cheesy, or it didn't feel like it wasn't earned. So I thought that was kind of great. And obviously, this being James Gunn's last one, again, I don't know if there will be any more Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but I thought that this was oh, my DualShock was disconnected, so sorry about that. I thought as to wrap up this trilogy of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I thought this was an excellent way of wrapping up this particular franchise, in unless they don't do it anymore, or they might do with just a completely different team. Obviously with directors and obviously the different people in the actual Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I did actually think the movie was actually really great. It was better than what I was expecting after the second one. Because as I said, loved the first one. Although I thought the second one had more heart, but I preferred the first one. If you had to ask me which one was out of the two, which out of the three was my favourite one, I can't decide between the first one and obviously the third one in this movie. And I would probably even hands down say that as of with Phase 4 of the Marvel movies, this is probably one of my favourite Marvel films in the Phase 4 franchise. Really strong storyline, a really well earned ending, and it did really feel like it was wrapping up as if they were all saying goodbye. There are two post credit scenes at the end of the movie, so not stay behind. So keep a lookout for those two post credit scenes. But overall, as I said before, really enjoyed it. I can't really even pick anything bad to say about the film. If there's anything, maybe I would say probably the pace a little bit. Maybe it could have cut bits here and there, but again, not enough to kind of to dislodge or spoil the actual movie. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, yeah, highly recommend this. As I've always said, I'm a comic book fan first. Love DC, love Marvel as well. So I'm not gonna sit there. I don't want people thinking I'm pro DC and I'm anti Marvel, because I love them both. And as I said with any movie, if I feel like I don't like something, regardless of if it's a franchise that I like more, or a particular company that I like more or less than someone else, I'm gonna sit there and give you my honest opinion about how I feel about that particular movie. You're not gonna get me blind smart up someone's backside just to get brownie points off the company. I'm gonna tell it as it is, and if I was rating this out of 10, it probably would be a 9.5. And if I was really, really pushing it, I probably would give it even a 10. I mean, for me, it's actually that good, and I can see why a lot of the critics were and the people, not just the critics, but the ordinary folk that go out to see the cinema actually really enjoyed it, because it was actually a really good movie. And I don't feel like my time's been wasted, and I feel kind of happier at the end of it. And that's what movies in general are all supposed to do. Even if it's a movie that like you're in a minority that you may like it, as long as the movie sits there and makes you feel good, and you feel like you've not wasted your time, then a movie has done its job. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, as I said before, really enjoyed it. As I said before, it wasn't over the top on the humour, action. That was kind of great. Again, even I shed a tear in places because it was really heartfelt and very emotional. And then that sense of family and friendship, that's the thing that I saw throughout the whole actual movie, and that everyone got something to do in the actual movie, so it didn't feel like, you know, some characters were given more screen time than others, and some characters were just left out and then being totally wasted. But yeah, if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, or you've never seen any other movies, or maybe you're disappointed by the second or even one, take it from me, I highly recommend you watching this, whether or not you're renting this, or you're going to buy it physically or stream it on a streaming platform. Highly recommend watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.